Hi everyone, this is Sandra. I am doing a special live here tonight, and David Jose is going to be joining me today. So, um, so I'm going to be sending him the invite. How are you guys tonight? I hope you guys are well. And so we have a few things to discuss today, and also a few new things that have been uncovered. So you'll definitely want to hear this. All right. And adding David Jose. Where are you? You declined my invitation? You can't do that. Okay, so maybe he needs a minute. So meanwhile, I guess what I can do is I can talk a little bit more about the affidavits. I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to review the information that we've been putting out there. As you know, this is very important and it's very urgent. So if we can really pull it together in this week, we have a chance to make a huge difference. And if you're not sure why we are doing this, the CPS corruption issue is very much connected with the medical freedom issue. It's all one. It's all one big corrupt issue. Okay, issues with corruption. So let's stick together. Let's think and figure out how we're going to do this. And we already have a lot of the work done because parents like you and me that have been fighting for justice have already been putting a lot of work into this. So let's all, keep running with that torch. Let's keep moving together and let's make a difference. Hello, David.
Hey, young lady,
Jose.
how are you?
Good. I'm over here just hanging out with my peeps and talking about affidavits and changing the world.
Hey, it's time. It's
You
time for
know,
that freaking fire.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time coming, and what can we say, right?
Yep, it is definitely 100% game over.
Well, so let's see. We got the affidavits information. We have everyone going to ourchildrenourgov.com and subscribing. And then what happens? They receive an email. In the email, you receive a copy of the affidavit that David Jose used and has been using, correct? And Fran has been
Yep.
using, and what, thousands of people have been using. Is that correct?
Yes, thousands of people have gotten the affidavit and they are all putting Congress on notice. If you guys can, please make sure you share this video, get this thing out, get it rolling. I promise you it's going to be hot. This video is not only for people in the CPS movement, but it's also for people in the medical freedom movement, people who are dealing with different agency courts. There have been many things that have been happening that you guys were not made aware of, and we want to show you guys the truth. We want to truly build you guys up and help you guys to be able to understand things at a high level so that you get rid of your fear, you get rid of your doubt, you get rid of any worry at all because you are able to see that you can stand on the right side of the law. Um, the problem with the fight and with government, like for instance, we've noticed that in a lot of places, people are more so asking or petitioning and begging for their rights to be preserved, or I'm sorry, asking for statutes to try to get rid of what the government agents are doing, or people are worried
Mhm.
about the statutes rather than understanding what the real law is, what the common law is. So I promise you, if God lets us live, after we're done with our video today, you will have much more confidence. You will feel better. You will realize that you have a strength that has been hidden from you. And we're going to open the doors for you to truly understand where that power is, how to use it. And you're going to understand why these affidavits are so important and why so many people fear these affidavits.
So I think there's a few frequently asked questions that I want to address really quickly before we move forward. The first question that I have that I get most often is, what do we have to update on there for each one of our states?
Well,
So,
the thing is, we're using our bills of rights. So, what
Cal,
most people do, because I can't give legal advice and tell people exactly how to make their own affidavit like an attorney would do.
right, we're
What
all,
I do is,
using our own critical thinking.
yeah. So, for instance, in the first two parts, I have the um, first few declarations of rights for Arizona. You'll see one that talks about frequent recurrence to
Mhm.
fundamental principles. And the second one, you'll see where it talks about how all government of right gets their power from the people and from the people only. They don't get it from anywhere else. So I'm using that to make an explanation of how the government system works. So that's why I put that in there, because in the next part, I go to Georgia's constitution and I show how it is a trust, right? So because it is a trust, they are our trustees. And then what it does is it shows that they only have the ability to use the powers that we've given. And if we didn't give it, it doesn't count. They can't use it, right? So that changes the dynamic of the way someone thinks about how that goes. So, two things that I would do if it was me. One thing you could do is change it to something that's close in your Bill of Rights, which is what I could do. Or I would just say, when we look at the declarations and bills of right around the country, we find that, for instance, Arizona shows that if you don't go back to fundamental principles, the government will make you slaves. And then I'll show that. Then I'll say, furthermore, we also find that all governments get their power from the people. So that way, I'm explaining why I'm using Arizona's if I'm not in Arizona.
That's very, very clever. Okay, so I like that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Now,
So that's
people
one
will
option.
say
And then the other option is, I would look up my
to just change
California
your bills
Bill
of
of
rights
Rights.
if you have something
Mhm.
close. Now, you also have to realize that you have what's called the full faith and credit of the United States on all constitutions. So they honor all constitutions. So if somebody declare as the people they have the right to change the government in Arizona, then somebody also has the right to change the government in Georgia.
Mhm.
Because we the people are the ones who are making what's called the general law or common law of the people. And so we base our
Okay,
common
common
law,
law.
yes, we base our common law off the Bible. And our common
Mhm.
law tells the government officials what they cannot do to us.
So can you explain, because some people may not know how this is all connected with common law. They think that maybe that means there are old laws that no longer apply. Explain why common laws are still important, or
Well,
obviously
common
important.
law is the law of the land. The common law came from the Bible. Hold on one second for me. Hold on, let me grab something.
Okay.
The common law came from the Bible. And the way that the common law works is it makes it so that the government officials can't take anything from you. They can't do anything wrong against you. They can't disfranchise you. They can't take away any of your rights or privileges. without what's
Right.
called due process of law or the common law. And
And that's
that
what every
gives,
state is under, right? Like we're under common law. Like the
we
state
are
of
we are
California
a
is under common
we are a common, oops, I'm sorry. We are a common law nation. So
law. And
the us, Canada, freaking Ireland, Australia, all common law nations. So UK, when people say, David, how did you help somebody get their kids back in another state? Is because the principles I'm teaching are the real law called the common law. And I'm going to show
yeah.
you an example of one that I showed the other day on my dirty piece of paper. I'm going to show it to you. Let me see. How do I do this? Okay, watch this. If you look close, no member of this state shall be disfranchised or deprived of any of the rights or privileges secured to any citizen thereof, unless be the law of the land. The law of the land is the common law. So the only way they could take away the right from you or a liberty is by using the common law. Now I'm going to show you why. Or the judgment of his peers. So Lord Coke said that the common law uses the judgment of your peers. That means no guy in a black robe can just take your rights from you on his own. So in CPS court and some of these agency courts, one man says, hey, I'm just taking your rights and we're going to take your kids. But you
Mm-hmm.
can't do that. It has to be a judgment of your peers, or it has to move. The court has to go by the common law, not statutes or codes or administrative law. There shall
And
be
when I was
neither,
reading,
huh?
oh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I was going to say when I was looking at the California Constitution, it showed that if something, if for judicial, um, for anything judicial, if it didn't fall directly under the Constitution and the California Constitution, then it would fall under common law. So nothing
Now,
else would be.
I'm going to teach you a trick. The California
Mhm.
Constitution is the common law, it's the general law. The people made a general law. Now, this is where everybody is getting messed up. They say, how do you know they're going to listen to the laws y'all talking? What if the law don't work no more? Um, what if they make a statute that says, or a code that they call the law, which is not the law, that says they can take our kids, that says that they can force us to get a shot, that says whatever, right? What the people don't know is that the common law has nothing to do with the government. The legislature can't write any laws against the people. So when you talk
Right.
about the common law or the law of the land is judged based on the general law or constitution that the people put in place. If they don't honor what's in the constitution, in their court is not a real court. Therefore, nothing that they do can be used against you.
So you have some documents today that you wanted to dive into.
Yes, because what I want to do is show people from the law books that the attorneys use themselves that there's no such thing of any law that they could use against us to take our stuff. There's no statute or code that applies to us, and I'm going to prove it
Mm-hmm.
because you see in the Minnesota Constitution that I just showed you, they have to use the law of the land or a jury of your peers in order to
Mm-hmm.
disfranchise you, to take any property, any right, or anything like that. You have a right to raise your children. You have a right to give them a shot or not. You have a right to follow your conscience. You have a right to protect your kids from unavoidable consequences of taking shots. So
Mm-hmm.
it is unavoidably dangerous. You have the right to pursue your own happiness and your family's happiness. Nobody can take anything from you without a jury of your peers. And the sorry attorneys and the sorry clowns who don't really teach you anything, but want you to just follow what they say because magically they got a pin on their shirt or they call themselves politicians. It is bull crap, and I have seen too many people crying over this, too many women crying when it don't even affect them.
Well, And a lot of innocent children are being removed from good homes.
Yes,
A
that's
lot.
right. That's
So,
right.
all right, well, let's continue getting to work here. Do you want to start with what you found just now with the common law, or do you want to move
Oh
to
no,
the doc?
the common law ones I knew for a long time, but I'm sending
Oh,
it to
okay.
you now. So what I want you to look at is, let's look at the big one, the definition of common law so everybody can see. See, if I'm a liar and I'm a fraud and I'm stupid, or Sandra's a liar or fraud or stupid, we can't show you the truth in a book. We would have to make up stuff. Now, what we're going to show you is that the common law has nothing to do with the legislature. They can't apply that stuff to you. Let's look and read.
Okay, so, all right, let me get
The one
those.
that says common law. We're going to show you guys something that's going to empower you so much. And the way we exercise this is getting the people to know, and then we're going to send affidavits with what is called notice of liability. Because the politicians and the bar members like to act like they don't know the law. Oh, we had no idea about that. Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't mean to run you over with our car. We didn't know we couldn't do that. Right? So what you have to do is show them that they can't do what they're doing to you.
Okay,
Okay, watch this, y'all. Let's zoom in.
let me see that I can do that.
All you got to do
Oops.
is move your phone closer.
Hold on one second.
There you go.
Okay.
Now, guys, this is what you got to realize. You see where it says common law. This is in the Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition. Now, watch this, y'all, because everybody is worried about what the legislature enacts. But the legislature has no power to enact statutes or codes or laws against the people's rights. Now, watch this. As distinguished from. So it's showing that the common law is different than something else. Can you scroll down? I can't see through my own picture. No. I'm sorry. You got to go up. You got to go back up
Oh,
to the top. My picture's
oops.
on the screen in the way. Now watch this, y'all. As distinguished from law created by the enactment of legislatures, so it's different than that. The common law comprises the body of those principles and rules of action relating to the government and the security of persons and property. The common law gives the government authority to only protect our property and our persons. That's it. Which derive their authority solely from usages and customs of immemorial antiquity, or from the judgments and decrees of the courts recognizing, affirming, and enforcing such usages and such customs. Watch this. And in this sense, particularly, the ancient unwritten law of England. See, this is the law of the people. It is not the written statutes that government officials put down. You got to scroll down 2 sentences. I mean, up. So I can see. No, back. Yeah, that way. I'm sorry. The common law is all the statutory and case law background of England. Now, that's not true either, because remember, it's unwritten law. So it is not the statutory. They're trying to add some shmoo in here to leave the written law of the government officials in there. Watch this. Such law consists of these principal usages and rules of action applicable to government, and security is moving a little bit. Let's see. Security of person property, which do not rest for their authority upon any express and positive declarations of the will of the legislature. Now, the common law has nothing to do with the freaking legislature telling you what you can do. But every time they take your rights, they have to use the common law. So anything that these clown legislatures write to take away your rights and liberty without the judgment of your peers or the law of the land, when it says the law of the land is talking about the common law. But the common law ain't got nothing to do with these clowns, right? So when they write SB 277, that's not the common law. They can't use that to take away your rights. Let's keep going down. So it says, case law background of England and the American colonies before the American Revolution. So during the American Revolution, guys, there was no Title 42, Social Security Act. There was none of this freaking Title 18, none of that, right? All it was is the law of the people. Don't harm nobody. Don't take anything from anybody. If you break somebody's stuff, you fix it or get them a new one, right? Your children belong to you at the time of the American Revolution. So this is why they don't want you to know the common law. Because if you knew the common law, you will realize that it goes all the way back to the time before the at the time of the American Revolution, when there was no U.S. codes, when there was no administrative law, when there was no fake courts trying to take your kids or force injections into you. Y'all see this? So this is the real law that stands that nobody told you. Now people will look and they will say, well, David Jose, well, my statutes in my state say that they can take your kids and they can turn around and adopt them out and they can terminate your rights. I say bullcrap. Nobody can terminate rights that God gave you. They have no power to terminate your rights. This is a hoax, a trick. You are believing that the legislature are writing statutes for the common law? No, the legislature only writes statutes for freaking commerce. Commerce has nothing to do with common law. Commerce is the freaking state to state, nation to nation, person working to person working, and still it has nothing to do with you trading your work for wages. There's a difference between wages and income. If you're doing business that takes no work and you're getting stock dividends back, that is what's called income. Income taxes. They can tax the work, the money that is made off of you doing nothing. But when it comes to wages, wages is what God tells you you get for sin. The wages of sin is death. So they're going to tax you for death too? You see? Do they tax you for every sin you make? Right? So
they will try.
They will. They're like, dude, you looked at a bad TV show. Tax $2, right?
Yeah, you took a breath.
Right?
Tax $5.
There you go. So
well,
everybody who's looking at what's happening in the movement, we spend a lot of time cheerleading, a lot of time playing games, a lot of time complaining. But it is a sad thing when people will not come and just show you the truth so you can be empowered. This is what the real deal is about. You don't get famous from telling the truth. You don't get famous from teaching people. So it's not the thing that people look to do. But when we say these crazy things like these courts are not moving by common law, therefore they cannot take your kids, people think, oh, you must be crazy. The statute says, I'm like, you can argue until you black and blue about the statutes, but common law courts do not move by statutes and codes, only by the common law. A court of record, a real court.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I really want to get to the other document.
We can't. A court of record only moves by the common law and not statutes or codes. So if you go into some business court, tribunal, and they start speaking off a statute right away, you know that it ain't a common law court. It's not a court of record. Therefore, they're trying to steal something from you without the law. They just know you don't know. And they're hoping that not enough of us know. They're hoping you won't share this video. But a lot of you guys are scared that CPS will take your kids if you don't get shots. You're scared that CPS will take your kids if they just come mess with you. But you don't realize that CPS does not work by the common law. And for every one of them that had just forced adopted your kids, you can get them back. Sounds crazy, right? You can get them back because the only case that counts if it's a common law court. Now, I'm going to prove to you guys that adoption is fake. Who wants? Can we get a thumbs up if you want us to prove to you that this forced adoption they done on all of y'all is fake? Give me a thumbs up if you want to see it. Let's move to the first adoption video. A picture.
Is it this one?
Okay, guys. Yeah, we're going to blow your freaking mind. Look at the bottom. Now, there's a difference between a lawful process and a legal process. A legal process is anything that a stupid attorney and legislative member put together, and that's their acts and their will. As we saw, that has absolutely nothing to do with the common law, which the people are bound by and the governments are bound by. Okay? So let's see what this says. Let's look at the bottom where it says adoption. Can you zoom in some? Watch this, y'all. Legal process pursuant to state what? What's that word? What's that word, Sandra? Legal process pursuant to states.
Statute.
This is gonna blow you. Statute. Okay. Statutes are what the state create. The people created the law of the land. The people created the general law, the common law, the Constitution, and the states, the government officials, all of them are bound by it, and all they can do is make statutes to tell how they are going to handle your business for you. Now watch this. Legal process pursuant to state statute in which a child's legal rights and duties, what does it say? Toward his parents are terminated. Now, notice they're not saying they're terminating your rights that God gave you. They're terminating your rights to be a parent. They're saying they're terminating your child's duties and legal rights towards you. Right? Now, here's the problem. That child they're talking about is a statutory created entity that has duties of getting rid of debts for you if your kid gets sick and you can't pay for it and there's a bill, right? It can use the birth certificate and stuff like that to get rid of something for the child. This has nothing to do with common law. This has to do with statutorily created entities, which the child is a entity, not a living, breathing little one, right? Now I'm getting ready to prove it to you. So they terminate the child's duties to you, the parents, which are a statutorily created entity, and give it to another family by statute. But watch this. Go to the next one, Sandra, please. Nope, one more down. Wait, one more. Sorry. One more down. Okay, here is the second page. Let's scroll back up some. Now watch this, y'all. Watch this. Scroll up, please. Bring the top of the page to the middle of the page. There you go. Now, similar rights and duties towards somebody else. I can't see no more.
Hold on, sorry. I have to adjust a little bit. Okay, let's see. Was it this one?
Nope, one more down. There we go.
This one, okay.
Okay. So, similar rights and duties toward what? Can you read it for me?
Similar rights and duties towards his adoptive parents are substituted.
Okay, so they're
family,
using statutes to substitute. Now, what does it say?
To take into one's family the child of another and give him or her the rights, privileges, and duties of a child and heir.
Okay, now
The
watch
procedure
this. Is this a common law procedure or is this something totally different? Watch this.
the procedure is entirely statutory and has no historical basis in common law.
If you got to use the common law to take away our rights or our property or our liberty interests, which our little ones are liberty interests, how the heck are they doing adoptions of your kids when it don't exist in the common law? No historical basis for adoption in the common law. They just made it up. So they're taking your kids and adopting them out in the legal world without the common law that is necessary to take any liberty interest which your kid are, any property which your kids are proper to you, they belong to you. God gave them to you in Psalm 127:3 as a heritage, meaning a gift particular to you and nobody else. So God gave you your kids. They are part and parcel to you. Nobody can adopt your kids out without your permission. So every adoption that happened was not by the common law or the law of the land. It was all fake. A whole bunch of people got y'all scared where y'all trusting in man telling y'all that your kid got adopted, that your rights got terminated. They don't have the power to terminate your rights. They're tricking you in a fake legal process and making you believe that your time is over and you ain't got your kids no more and they don't belong to you no more. That's called a fraud. And fraud vitiates everything. Fraud vitiates everything. Every single case they've done against every single one of you that was forced adoption when they did not bring you before a jury of your peers using the common law. Not just a freaking silly CPS court with some people sitting in there, but the common law must be ran for the jury to make a decision on. And if there is no adoption in the common law and the parent is sitting in the room, how the freak are you going to say the kids needs to go to somebody else? So the people in the vaccine world, when they tell you they're going to take up your ability to give your kids shots or not and just take it and give it to somebody else to make a decision, or the legislature is going to write acts that say that they can do it, they don't have the power or authority to write acts to go against the will of the people. Miranda versus Arizona tells you where rights concerning the where rights in the Constitution are concerned, there shall be no legislation or rulemaking which would abrogate them. So they kidnapped your freaking kids is what they did. There is no common law court or jury that says that they could take your kids. So when you see in the Bill of Rights where it says they must use the law of the land or a judgment of your peers, that is the common law. That is the common law. If you need me to do another video and show y'all tomorrow that the law of the land is really the common law, I'll do it. If you need me to show y'all that a jury of your peers is what's in there, so they are lying to you. We have been sitting up begging these people to write legislation and statutes, right? When they never had the ability to write legislation and statutes against our rights. You can't take your master called the people and write legislation telling some company that they could take the people's kids. Now, you can hear people talk crazy stuff all day, but there's not a man or woman in the country who can argue against what I just showed you. It's straight facts. It's straight fire. And the attorneys have been lying to you. Why haven't the attorneys told you that nobody could take anything from you except for by a jury of your peers under the common law? You want to know why? The reason they're not telling you is the common law does not allow for them to have enough cases. Now we're going to show y'all this last picture that's going to prove to y'all that the courts are not courts of record. They don't care about you doing wrong or right. They're just faking. It's going to be the next one, that one you had with the colors around it.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay,
That one.
guys, get ready for this.
Now,
This, I'm
this
so
one is gonna
excited for
blow
everyone.
y'all back out. This one is
Woo!
from Pima County Guardian Ad Litem Handbook in Arizona. People who
Are
steal
you guys
kids for a
ready to
living.
be? Are
Now,
you guys ready to be like pissed off?
you about to be red pilled. All right, get ready. Sandra, can you start reading it
Red
for us,
pill.
please?
All right. While
Watch this,
juvenile
y'all.
court, while juvenile court is technically a part of the Superior Court, the Pima
Okay,
County
guys,
Juvenile
Superior
Court.
Court is the court of record. Superior Court is the juvenile court in Arizona, right? I mean, I'm sorry, the court of record. They're saying they're technically part of Superior Court, but they ain't the same. All right, let's go, Sandra. You might have to zoom in for them to see it.
It's
Yes,
already
ma'am,
a
you can get
very,
copies.
it's a very grainy picture, so
No, I'm saying
I can't really
zoom in with
like
your
that.
phone.
Like this, you mean?
Yeah. Okay, now you can see it. You can see it better.
Okay. Okay, so the Pima County Juvenile Court is housed in a separate building on Ajo Way near Kino Hospital, now called UMC South. Okay. Throughout the state, the juvenile court operates under a different set of rules and
Now, guys, hold
procedures.
on now. Hold on. The freaking Superior Court has to move under the common law. They're telling you the juvenile court moves under a different type of set of rules and different procedures. What the freak is this? They're talking about
Mhm.
it amongst themselves where me and you can't see it. But I got a copy of their stuff. Watch this. Keep going.
Throughout the state, the juvenile court operates under a different set of rules and procedures than those used in other civil proceedings. Juvenile court also has its own culture or way of doing things that is less formal and in many ways more innovative than that of other courts.
So they're making it up as they go, and they got y'all believing that it's a court about wrong or right, but they're really just playing with you, stealing your kids, rehoming your kids, and have nothing to do with the common law. So they're a fake court, which isn't even freaking following the law of the land. Now let's keep going. It's going to get deeper.
In theory, the juvenile court is not in the business of finding fault, assessing blame, or
Meting
or
out
meting
punishment. Now watch this.
out punishment.
Meeting.
Rather,
Now
uh,
they're saying that they're not trying to
meeting.
blame you for doing wrong. They're not even trying to look and see if you hurt your kid. They don't give a freak what the evidence is. They don't give a freak if anybody was wronged or right. They don't have no evidence on you. They're just coming to play a game and arguing. And it looks like you're in trouble, looks like you're wrong. But all they really want to do is take your kid and put him somewhere else. Now, if you think I'm lying, they're going to tell you themselves. They're not trying to punish you. That's why none of y'all going to jail. They just wanted to take your kids and give them to somebody else and make money. Because if they really thought you did wrong, they would throw you under the jail. They like prosecuting people. Let's keep reading. Rather, what do?
Rather, the juvenile court is interested in protecting the child from immediate harm and in providing the services necessary to help preserve the family.
Oh, the services that all of them make money on? Now listen to this. They just said they're not in the business of blaming you for wrong or trying to punish you or anything like that. So if it ain't nothing wrong happening, what are you protecting the kid from? If you haven't been to a criminal court where they prove you've done wrong with a jury of your peers under the common law, how the freak are they saying they're protecting the kid from immediate wrong? There is none. Y'all see this? Let's keep going. Watch this.
Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you're seeing it okay? Okay. And in
That fire.
providing the services necessary to help preserve the family. Okay, I read that. If efforts to help make the family functional do not succeed, then the juvenile court is empowered to find an alternative, permanent, and safe home for the child.
Now, guys, the only power these people got, they don't have power to prosecute you. They don't have power to say you did wrong. They ain't trying to say you do wrong. All they said the court is empowered to do is switch your kid from your house to somebody else's house. They don't even have the power to take your kid from you. Now, watch this. Go where it says we say. Watch what they're really doing in these fake courtrooms, y'all. They're playing with us. Watch this.
We say that the court is not about parental fault.
The court ain't even about you having fought or doing wrong.
That is certainly true under the law. However,
wait, y'all. It's certainly true under the law. However, going by the law, we gonna do something else. Watch this. Go ahead.
However, the dependency process is a terrifically human. I don't get that. However, the dependency process is a
it means it's full of issues and crap, pretty much.
While the law may say otherwise.
See, they don't give a freak about what the law is, y'all. The law says they can't do this stuff to you. While the law may say otherwise, screw the law. We making up our own stuff. Watch what it says.
In actual practice, fault, blame, shame, attitude, and host of other technically irrelevant considerations play a huge role in determining what will or will not happen to a child in the court
These
process.
clowns just said attitude. I mean, while the law says otherwise, the law says we shouldn't be using this bullcrap against people. But in our business, we gonna use attitudes, drama, freaking, we don't like you, fault, blame, all types of stuff to take your kids from you. It's not a court that deals with wrong or right. But they gonna use blame and attitude and talk drama to make you think that you're in a court of record. Like they're trying to blame you for something. And really, they don't give a freak. They just want to take your kids. And they know the law says you're not supposed to do that, but they don't give a freak. This is their own thing. They don't need the law. Now, come on.
That's how they make money.
Come on. Yes. Come on. They're doing show trials that are just legal business meetings, and it has nothing to do with the law. They don't care if you did wrong or right. That don't mean they won't act like it, though. Let's finish it up. What else does it say?
None of the participants, including the judges, including the judges, case managers, therapists, and lawyers, are immune from visceral reactions to parental behavior that will, no doubt, include you as well.
Now they're telling the guardian ad litem that everybody plays in the game and acts crazy towards the parents and back and forth with stuff that does not include the law. Hey, and that's going to include you too, guardian ad litem. Y'all wondering why guardian ad litems are giving y'all kids to people who will have sex with them? Because everybody is playing a game like they care about your kids, and they really don't. This is all about business and money, and everybody's telling that this is just a game, just a business, and they're acting, but they don't tell us, the people, and they don't tell the cops that come with guns. How do we feel about this, y'all?
I
How do
feel
we feel
sick.
about it? Have you not been red pill today?
Red
Yes,
pilled
that
for
is the
sure.
administrative process. It's a game and a joke, and it doesn't even apply to the people. But they have tricked us to make us think that they're acting in a way that a common law court would, when really they're just playing around and joking and stealing your kids.
Hmm. Are we done with this one for now?
Y'all got to tell me. That's it. Y'all got to tell me. Does this make sense or no? Does it make sense or no? See, people hear me say, oh, that's a fake court. It's not real. That's a bunch of bullcrap. And they get mad. They're like, don't say that. My judge really did this and that. I said, you ain't got no judge. There was no judge in the freaking courtroom. This is not a court. This is not an Article 3 proceeding. This is fake. It's a scam. The legislature don't even have the power to make a law, yet they're writing statutes making you believe that it's law. They're not, see, many people would believe that these people wouldn't be playing a game trying to trick us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many people will play a game trying to trick us and make you believe you're in something that you don't realize they can't, because the Bill of Rights already protected your rights. They can't force you to do something. You don't need a freaking exemption. Freaking, you are the power. Whatever you say is your exemption.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to
Right.
ask for permission from them. Whatever I want to do is what I want to do when it comes to my conscience and raising my kids. So if I want to give them natural health and supplements and good foods and take them out for vitamin D and let them run in the air, that's what I choose to do.
Oh, geez. Don't push it now. Don't push it now. Give them good food and sunshine.
Yeah, they want you to think sunshine is bad for you and you're being irresponsible, when really what's happening is they're just trampling on your rights for money. They're
Mm-hmm.
not telling you that the
All about money.
legislature, yeah, all of them are getting paid money off of these private courts.
Okay, so we have a duty this week to uh, we have a call of action here because we actually have Congress on notice, and the Trump administration is currently asking for the public to comment. So if we can get ourselves together here and if we can go to ourchildrenourgov.com and subscribe and get that affidavit in, you can start working on your own affidavit and get it notarized, print it out in legal size paper, get it notarized,
Only legal
and then you
side.
can only legal size, which is what, 8.5 by 14 inches. And you can
Yes, ma'am.
either certify mail it or just email it, right? We can just email it to the Trump administration, and you send that out in the email. You send all the information in there, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So I want you
Yes,
guys
so we can
to,
get it
be
out and we can get the
excited.
people moving.
Yeah, be excited. This is a good thing. This is a great time to be part of something big. This is a good time to actually act on something, and it's very easy. You're just looking at the information. You can verify it yourself. You can modify whatever you know as true, and you're simply basically putting it on record that it is true, and you know that. So when you critically think and you look at the information and you know it's true, that's what gives it that power. And in
This is why
addition, this
people
is a
don't want y'all doing affidavits. They don't want y'all doing affidavits or dealing with me or dealing with Sandra, because they know that we know the answer to fix this. And so we are showing you the real evidence that they are just blatantly lying to you in this CPS court. And they've been trafficking your kids for the last 30 years easy. And not one attorney told us about this stuff. Now I'm showing you what the attorneys are saying, the guardian ad litem's behind closed doors in their own documents. I'm showing you what the Black's Law Dictionary is telling you. So we are coming bringing you real information and real facts, showing you the evidence. And some people are going to come who want to keep the system going. And they're going to say, you know what? David Hosea is making a sovereign citizen affidavit. No, I'm not. I'm showing you our own laws, what your forefathers said. I'm showing you what the Constitution says. I'm showing you what the Black's Law Dictionary says. I'm showing you that they cannot steal your kids. They cannot force injections. Sandra has shown you guys that they cannot force injections, and she showed the dang law. And people want to laugh and joke and play and hate. The reason they're hating is because they're connected to people who don't want this to stop. There is trillions of dollars in them stealing your kids and forcing vaccinations and all those things. And so if we don't stop this, your kids are in danger. And it's our duty, even though it's dangerous, to come tell y'all this. And if we don't tell you, we don't love you. And that's right. Emily got my affidavit and she joined the PMA, right? The PMA is something that allows us to be able to talk about law personally, where I don't have to be an attorney, and we can just deal with the law one-on-one if you need extra help and you want to really go through things. It's cheap as heck. It's $20 for a year. That's the consideration to be part of the establishment, the PMA. And the PMA is pretty much like what bar members use that allow them to be in the private. If we're part of the same church or the same group, we could talk about whatever we want to and nobody can mess with us. So the thing is, people do get afraid, but they get afraid. What, Margaret, it's only too good to be true when nobody knows. This is why the bar members been eroding our rights a little bit at a time secretly. Because they were hoping that we would never find out about all this hidden stuff. And if you're a Christian and you don't believe me, or you're a Hebrew and you don't believe me in what this is said, what I'm saying, you can pay the $20 through Facebook page, Chastity. You're going to realize that in Luke 11:52, Jesus said, woe unto the lawyers. Then he talked about how they hide the key of knowledge. They're not going to go in, and they're going to hinder everybody who tries to go in. So if you look at Luke 11:52 KJV, and I'm sure Sandra probably already gone there because she's quick as heck. I heard her go, like, yeah, she's saying, look, we going to check, right? That's the good thing about Sandra. She don't freaking play. She go look, right? Everybody wants to do the Burger King, have it your way real quick. Just tell me what it is. She's going to look to check and see if what I'm saying is true. 11:52. Luke 11:52. KJV.
On it.
All right. You want to read it to us?
Sure. Let's see. Let me get it on here. Okay. Woe unto you, lawyers.
Margaret, this is for you to see, Margaret, because Jesus himself said what the lawyers are going to do, and I'm proving to you they're hiding the law because I'm exposing it to you. If it's there for me to expose it, that means they freaking hid it, because all y'all should know this, right? What does it say?
Give me a second.
Woe unto you.
Oh, you know what, Margaret, we just need you. We don't need everyone else, okay? Woe unto you, lawyers, for ye have taken away the key of knowledge. Ye entered
so the
not
knowledge that
in...
we should have, they take away the key. This is why they keep hiding the law in books and telling you some bull crap, so they can make it more sophisticated, so they can make money off of encoding or decoding what they want you to see, rather than seeing the real law. What does it say now?
Ye entered not in yourselves, and them that were
so they ain't going into the law. Look how smart God is. God said they're not going into the law either. Notice they are attorneys at law. They walk up to the door, but they ain't going in. They won't even call themselves attorneys in law. They don't walk in the law. They fake, play on the outside, run a circle around the house, do jumping jacks on the porch, but they not going in. All right? What else? And
Oh,
them that were entering,
hold
what did
on.
they do?
I need to find a version that has
Oh
more
no,
than
it's
just
there.
that one. I don't.
It's there.
It was there.
Them that were entering,
Oh, and them that were entering in ye hindered.
ye hindered. That's why the bar attorneys are fighting me so hard on Facebook. Louis Ewing, Miss Connie, all these people want to stop me from saying what I'm saying because when we enter into the law, it takes away their money because they can't hold cases when they know that is not a case. How the freak are they going in a courtroom that doesn't use the common law and don't tell the people? Because they're turners. Attorners mean to attorn or turn over property from one person to another. So they're turning your rights over to the court and bypassing your right to be dealt with in a proper manner. They're hindering you from going into the law. You trying to go and they're like, no, 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 don't talk about the Constitution. Don't bring up the common law. Don't talk about the Bible. Right?
Mhm.
These people are acting like freaking clowns and God told you they were going to do it.
Yep,
God told you.
that's where we are. God always tells the truth. God is truth.
But you know they tell us don't look at the Bible because it's not real, but that's where our law came from. And then
Yeah.
we don't even know that they're ripping us off of our kids. We're trying to use the dang law and they hindering us from using the law and say, don't use that. Don't talk about
Mm-hmm.
God. Don't say they belong to me. Don't say that. Just do whatever the freaking CPS workers say. Jump up and down. When they say jump, you say how high, and then maybe, just maybe, if they want to give them back later, they'll give them back to you. But there's no promises, though. The
Well,
common law
I
said they
thank you
can't take
so
them in the
much.
first place.
I thank you so much for all that information today. I think we all need to sleep on it and think about it and uh, get ready for this week because the law is on our side. You keep pointing it out. I don't know what else everyone wants, but that's fine. It takes time to really see it as a whole. And I just encourage you to keep looking these things up. When you get the affidavit, everything's on there. You can just look it up yourself and see what you see. And I'm trying to get a lot of people to do this at once. So I want to apologize if I don't get back to you immediately. Sometimes I'm collecting questions so that then I can answer them all at once. It also takes time to absorb everything. I don't want everyone freaking out. This is not something that is really difficult. It's actually very easy. It's just a matter of doing it. And then what's going to happen is that you'll feel empowered and you'll start noticing how things are not functioning correctly or the way they're supposed to. And I mean, your life is going to get a little better because you'll be able to see it. There are other affidavits we can be writing. We can be writing them to PAN. We can be addressing things more like the medical issues. So this is really a learning process, and there's a learning curve for everyone. So don't worry if you think you don't know something. That's fine. We're all starting out. There's a lot of amazing parents and people that are really on our side, like David Jose, Fran, Mitch Smith. They are seasoned because they have been in doing their research for a little longer than a lot of us who are starting out. So, but don't worry, don't feel intimidated. This is the truth. This is the real law. And so this is really more about you becoming aware and actually learning the things that have been uh, deliberately been kept away from us. So that we can be taken advantage of. So let's go ahead and end that era and start standing up for ourselves. Let's use our own common sense and our knowledge, and let's get these affidavits out there. And you know what? If you're feeling intimidated, at least let's start getting messages out there. You can still email the president. He wants to hear from us. Let's do whatever it takes to get these kids home. Okay? So, David Jose, is there anything else you wanted to add before we finish
All I want to
tonight?
say
Or
is the website is ourchildrenourgov.com. Ourchildrenourgov, that's gov.com. And the affidavits will come directly to you, the affidavit that I used, and you can have a field day and a party. You can start putting these people on notice, and we can take the nation back over like Trump told us he wanted us to. He's just waiting on us. So let's go ahead and give him the evidence he needs to show him that the courts are fake, the CPS agents are fake, the guardian ad litems are fake, and they need to go ahead and return our kids. We need to all be like CPS. We need to go ahead and get like 400, 500,000 returns on aisle 6. Let's go, right? Time for the
yeah, well, they're
returns,
doing
baby. Get
bad
your kids
business.
back. Get your kids
They're
back.
doing bad business.
You see it's a hoax. It's not an email address, it's a website. When you go there, you put in your phone number, email, and name. And what will
Mm-hmm.
happen is that the affidavit will come back to you automatically.
Mm-hmm. It's very easy, guys. Just go to the website. It's a very short subscription, and you'll get the information via email. You'll also get updated information on there. You can reach us. And, this is really about you learning your own rights. So there's really nothing anyone can say. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to, but you will want to when you feel empowered and when you see the truth. So I'll see you guys soon, and we'll keep connecting this week. Let's get those affidavits out. Have a good night.
Adios.